I thought I'd do this video on the Mavic. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the stuff the other websites talk about. You've seen all the reviews, you've seen all of the how it works, how it unfolds, how it flies. I'm going to talk about some specifics, about the stuff, the questions that are coming up time and time again in the forums, the stuff people want to know about the aircraft. So I'm not going to go into detail about how it flies and all that. I got no idea. What I'm going to go into detail about is the little stuff people keep asking about. So hopefully this might answer some questions for some people. So to get started, we're going to look at the aircraft itself. Some of the basics, right? We'll start at the top. The propellers. These are proprietary propellers from DJI. They are folding props with a QR connection, which means they're quick release. They will come off. You cannot mount any other props to this product. They will just be the DJI ones. They are available. They're not the cheapest in the world. They're going to be £8 a pair in the UK. You know, compared to FPV props, they are expensive. But you know what? I have found over the years the DJI props have been outstanding. Unless you physically break one, there is no reason to change them at too soon in intervals unless you start getting wear on the hubs. But they are quick release props and they are folding quick release props. So as I said, you can only use the ones that come with it. One cool little feature is it'll actually flip the props out itself on arming. So you don't actually have to unfold the props. It will do it itself with the centrifugal force. Cool little thing. Moving on to the aircraft, sensors and everything. Basically, like the Phantom 4, this has the vision system at the front, the optical sensors. It has the vision positioning system at the bottom, which consists of 2 optical cameras and 2 ultrasonic range finding sensors. It also uses the main camera as part of it. Now, the object avoidance works basically the same as it does on the Phantom 4. There is no change there, as does the VPS system. However, there is one new very cool little feature. DJI have said with this new aircraft it allows it to land very, very accurately from its takeoff point. The reason it is able to do this is as it takes off, it actually takes some pictures of the ground it's taken off from. So it takes off and you fly around using your GPS. It has, as the Phantom 4 did, both the GPS and the Russian system, so it will be very, very stable. But because it has this new optical system, when it comes to landing, it will come over and use the GPS to get its position roughly. As it comes down, it will actually look at the pictures it took when it took off, and it will try and position itself to land very, very accurately. I'm sure I've read a figure of 1 centimeter. I'm not going to say it's going to do that every time, but up to 1 centimeter landing, which is massively impressive. Again, as I said with all the other sensors, it has the Russian and American GPS. It has the same dual redundant IMU and compass, just like the Phantom 4. So it's got that really stable flight control system. The Phantom 4 is absolutely superb to fly. It is very, very stable, and this is as well. Some of the images of this hovering have been shocking. It is just, it's like it is mounted on string. It just sits there. It's physically not moving. So that's it on the aircraft itself. I'm not going to go into any about the folding and everything itself. The camera, right, let's get on to that. We've got a bit to talk about here. It is the same sensor that is used on the Phantom 4, so it is the same 12 megapixel Sony sensor. It is a new really small 3-axis gimbal which DJI have engineered. It looks absolutely impressive. The big difference with the camera is the optics. It has autofocus. Now, DJI have had this on their Z3 camera and their X5, but they've never had it on their ready-to-fly aircraft like the Phantoms line before. This has caused a little bit of confusion from some of the people reviewing this product because they didn't fully understand how it worked. So some of the footage that first came out looked very soft. This is not a fault with the camera. It's not how the camera is. It's because they didn't focus the lens. Now, it's a very simple thing to do. All you actually do to focus the lens is tap on the object on the screen that you want to focus on. If you've flown the DJI products before, you'll know you can tap to set the metering point on the screen for the exposure. It is the same process. There's a little option which lets you switch between exposure metering and focus, and you just tap on an item that you want to focus on and the lens will do it and lock. Now, you need to do this when you take off. So if you're going to be trying to do like panoramas of open area land, you want to try and focus to infinity. So you want to probably click on something 50, 60 meters out, get it to focus on that just as you're hovering there, and that's it done. That's all you need to do. But what it gives you the option of is focusing on something really close in. DJI have said the focus range is 0.5 meters to infinity. So it will allow you to do some really good close-up filming of a couple of meters and be really sharply focused on that. Again, you would just tap on the screen and focus on that point, but it is something people will need to do and get a handle on when they fly this aircraft. It is going to be slightly different to the Phantom 4, where you can just put it in the air and fly it around, and it's got its standard preset focus. This allows you to focus on exactly what you're filming on. So it is a big step forward. It really is a big step forward. There will be a learning curve with that. So some of the people who will get this out the box and try and fly it around without learning how to do that will then come back and say their footage is looking soft, blurry, doesn't look right. Once they understand how to do it, you will be able to get really good results out of this camera. The other thing I was going to talk about is the dome, which was noticed. The dome is a protection dome. It's there to protect the camera when it's in storage. It's also there, you can fly with this on, right? So you're not going to want to do your FPV filming for your, you're filming your lovely footage with this on. But if you're just doing some flying for fun through some trees and, a bit of woodland, if you want to, this is not a racing drone, right? Let's be clear about that. You do not want to smash this into the ground. But it's certainly a lot smaller than we've had before, a lot nimbler and very fast as well. So a lot of guys are going to have a lot of fun with this product, especially in sport mode. It still has that sport mode like the Phantom 4. So the guys who want to do that, you have got this lens cover you can leave on and you will get decent footage from it. You're going to get by far much better than you're going to get from anything on 5.8. Really are. It's still going to be HD quality footage. It's just with that on, you're going to get some light refraction on the lens and things like that. But you don't fly with it on for doing aerial photography, basically. That's it on the camera. Performance-wise, as I said, it's got sport mode, and they say up to 27 minutes of flight time. I'd be expecting about 23, 24. That's what I'm going to suggest to people, estimate, roughly 20 to 24 minutes. 40 mile an hour in sport mode. Again, with sport mode, object avoidance does not work, so you do not rely on object avoidance in sport mode. The controller. Now, this is a completely new controller from DJI. Has a built-in small LCD screen, if you've seen in all the videos. You've got the antennas at the top. Your phone goes into the bottom with the arms fold out. Everyone's seen this bit already, so I'm not going to talk too much about this. Couple of little things. First of all, these little control sticks, I've been told they pull off. So if you want to store it and not worry about the sticks, you can actually pop them off and pop them in the bag. Would have been nice if there was a little recess in the back actually you could pop them into, but I don't think there is. There is C buttons on the back of it as well, C1 and C2. Sport mode is actually on a switch on this. You've got a physical switch to put it into sport mode. It uses a USB connection from your smart device to the controller, so it will take iOS or Android. In here then is a little USB cable that goes in. It comes complete with a micro USB cable and a lightning cable, USB Type-C and reversed micro USB cables are also available for it on the DJI site. You have to pay for them separately, but they are available to order, but it comes as standard with those two up there. The biggest phone you can put into it is about an iPhone 6 Plus or an iPhone 7 Plus from what I've read in. It will take that size device. If you want to go anything bigger, you would have to use it on an external tripod or stand and use a long USB cable. It's certainly an option. I suspect someone will come up with a bracket or something to mount an iPad mini to. I wonder if it's going to be a bit heavy. It would have been nice actually to just have two buckles on either side here so you can connect a lanyard to. But there isn't. But someone will 3D print something. Something will become available for that. This thing's going to cause a huge stir, and there's going to be all sorts coming out for this. There really is. Whilst we're talking about the feed, the live feed, there is no HDMI output on this product. So if you want to use FPV goggles, there are some options which you're not limited, but it's different. Option number one is DJI are releasing their own set of goggles. Now this is 1080p, two 1080p screens, very high quality with their new system called OcuSync, which I'll come to in a minute. It's a really low latency connection. These goggles take the image directly from the aircraft. They do not hook up to the controller. It receives the wireless, high definition, low latency image directly to the goggles. If you didn't want to go down that road, by the way, these aren't available yet. We've got no pricing information, no idea how long it'll be. Probably be a couple of months, 2 months, 3 months. But if you didn't want to use them and you wanted to use your existing goggles, there is only one or two ways you can do this. You could either put your smart device in a set of goggles, you know, the ones you can slide the Samsung at it, and I've never really looked into them too much, but yeah, you can slide your phone into the device. Lynchy supports that. Hopefully it will with this. That's one option. If you wanted to use existing FPV goggles, what you would have to do is get a smart device with a HDMI output. So you would then have to plug your controller into that, something like an NVIDIA Shield tablet on a tripod, for instance. Then you could connect your FPV goggles to your NVIDIA tablet. Now, the only downside to this I can see is this. Most of the FPV ones don't offer good quality, the stuff that's already out there. So the Headplay HD, I have a set, they're 720p. They're probably going to be about the best you're going to get for this as standard. The second thing is your Fat Sharks. I've got the Dominator version 3s. Yes, they take a 720p feed into them, but they are not HD. The screens are not high definition, so you are going to be downscaling massively. I was quite disappointed with the image quality on the Phantom 3 and 4 with them. God knows what it would be like going down from 1080p. So I really don't recommend that route. This is going to change things slightly. You know, it's not an FPV racer, this thing, so it's not really aimed at the FPV racing market. It's still a very capable camera drone. So DJI have put together their own thing on it. That's that. Sorry, I'm looking at my list. Whilst we were talking about OcuSync, let me come down and talk about this. Right. This is DJI's new wireless transmission system. I believe it is based on Lightbridge. It is a new step forward again. It is 1080p, not 720p like Lightbridge 1 or 1.5 as we had on the Phantom 3, 4 and Inspire. Lightbridge 2 was 1080p, but this is something new again beyond that. It allows better range. DJI is saying 7 kilometers in in FCC, which is very, very impressive. Whatever they've done with it as well, they've managed to tweak the outputs, because the CE output of the Phantom 3 and the Phantom 4 was 16 to 17 dBm. This is now up to 20 dBm. So whatever they've done with the regulations, they've managed to get the output of this thing right up. They really have. They've also increased the output of the FCC as well. So the overall output has come up. DJI calling this OcuSync a new... It looks like it's a dynamic type connection, so it will start off at 1080p, and as you fly out, it will probably drop to 720p. That's how I understand it. So if you're close in, it gives you your really high definition, but as the signal gets weaker as it goes out, it would probably drop down to 720p to give you that extra range. I'm assuming that's how it works. Don't hold me to that. It's also got very low latency. DJI here are saying it has got 5 millisecond latency for the remote controller transmission commands. So that's your inputs back to the aircraft. 10 milliseconds for video data and 130 milliseconds for videos. Now, I'm not too sure the difference between video data and videos. Video data may be telemetry, and for videos maybe live feed. I don't know. I'm not going to guess. That's purely as far as I'm going to do on that. But it's still a fairly low latency. The reports on this new connection from a couple of people who've flown it have said it is absolutely crystal clear. It is stunning. It just seems better than Lightbridge. So that's the new connection. Because of that, a couple of things because of that. What it means is you cannot use the controller off the Phantom 3 or Phantom 4 or Inspire 1 with the Mavic. They are not compatible. This is a new system altogether. On the other side of that, it means the goggles, it appears, will not work with the older products either. So the new goggles DJI have announced up here, they will not work with the Phantom 3, 4 or Inspire 1 as far as we know, unless they do something like put a HDMI port on the bottom. If they put a HDMI port on the bottom, then they will work, obviously. But what I'm saying is that I don't believe the OcuSync is compatible with Lightbridge, basically. The final thing on the controller side of things is DJI have got this new mode as well. Now, as with all DJI products, you can only use a DJI remote controller. So you can't use anything off the shelf, nothing else. It's a custom setup for DJI. They've added Wi-Fi to the Mavic. So on the side of it is a little switch. You can flick it over and you can actually connect to the aircraft with your smartphone and fly it directly with your smartphone. So instead of using the controller, you can actually use your smartphone. So if you were doing some really quick footage, you just wanted to take a picture of something, or you just wanted to do a follow me of someone, and you didn't want to get the controller out, you could just flick it on Wi-Fi and fly the aircraft from the smartphone. It's a very, very cool feature. As far as I'm aware, almost all of the functionality is available by doing that. Now, you're not going to get the same dexterity you'd have having a controller in your hand, but if you were doing automated modes, for instance, waypoints, something like that, you know, it's an option. It really is. Very, very interesting little feature, that. Finally, moving over to the battery. It uses another smart battery from DJI. It's a 3S pack, up to 27 minutes flight time, they're saying. I'd expect a bit less than that, as I always do. I always take these figures with a slight pinch of salt. The battery, as I said, is 3S, so it is not compatible with anything else. The charger supplied with the product is 50 watt, so that charges the battery basically at 1C, which means it will take about an hour to charge up from flat. Roughly an hour, hour and 5 to 10 minutes. DJI have also said there is a hub available. They've also done a package with the Mavic called, I think it's Fly More, which allows you an extra 2 batteries, a charge hub, a car charger as well, and a Mavic battery to power bank adapter. What that is, that allows you to charge your smart device, your tablet, your phone from the battery. So you plug your battery into that, you plug your battery into that there, and it allows you to charge up your smartphone from the battery. Cool little feature. To be honest, if I was advising anyone, I would go out and get yourself one of those battery banks. One thing I have noticed flying FPV on my phone is the battery draw is absolutely horrendous. You don't get much use out of it, especially if it's your phone as well. So I would go out and get a 10 amp battery backup from Amazon, something like that, 10, 15 quid, and have that and use that to charge your phone. That is going to be a very serious option. This idea is, I suppose, okay, but you don't really want to be taking power out the packs before they're used. I suppose what you could do is, if you've flown the pack down to 20%, there's going to be enough in there to take a phone. But no, maybe not. You know, most phones are nearly an amp of capacity, 800 milliamp hour. So yeah, probably, to be honest, I would get yourself a battery bank. I really would. You got this car charger, as I said. They've done the Mavic battery charging hub. Now, what this charging hub does is the same as the Phantom 4 one. You plug in the 50 watt charger that comes with it into the hub, and it sequentially charges the batteries up one at a time. Starts at the battery that's got the most charge and works its way back to the battery that's got the least charge. So the first battery that finishes is the one that had the most charge. So if you were waiting for it, you can pick that pack up and fly straight away. Now, they have also announced there's going to be an advanced charging hub, which allows you to plug in the 100 watt adapter from the Phantom 4 and charge the batteries basically at 2C, so charge them quicker, basically half the time. So that's going to be a very cool addition to the accessories range. Isn't available here and now today. The only one that is available here and now today is the basic battery charging hub, but at some point we will also see the other one as well. I think I've covered it all. The other features are basically the same as the Phantom 4 in the sense of it's got the redundancy as I spoke about, it's got tap fly, it's got the controls at your command. You know, obviously the goggles are going to be something completely new from DJI. They've not done that before. Looking forward to seeing what they look like. If I just look on my list, what have I missed? Nothing. I don't think I've missed anything. This video was purely just to go over some of the basics. Some of the stuff that might not have crept up in the other videos. Some questions people might be having. Things like that. Thank you very much for watching. I'll hopefully do another one again soon.